What'd you guys think of Hattie Hat's new video?
I think he did a good job.
Yeah, he did. I think so too.
Well, we'll see if we're gonna get Yayo. Fury, I assume you've got the thing rolling, huh? Yeah. All right. Oh, that's the weekly reports thing you've been working on? Oh, Yayo's here. Good.
Hello. Sorry about that.
Hello, sir. Checking to see what Fury was sharing here. And then we're going to get started.
When did we get to 0.0184? What's the price? It's a good price.
Find out. It's still 2946 on Algo, anyways.
Yeah, the transparency report's got it at a penny and 0.0184.
Yeah. What say you, Fury?
Are you muted?
Sure I can't hear him talking. Can anybody else hear him talking?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. There he is. Yep, I can hear you now. Uh-huh. Okay. Okay, I'll check it out afterwards. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I know we got. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we got the minutes from last week, right?
Dude, no, I never got around to them because I was busy with work.
Okay.
But I need to find the link for the meeting so I can. And I'll put them out there though.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. So we'll get those later. Not a big rush, but I know that Fury is going to start using the minutes from these meetings for constructing what he's constructing too. Okay. So opening remarks, Fury has begun his work as the content manager for socials. I know that I've seen some posts from him, especially like likes and other stuff. We talked briefly in the Discord about the fact that I'm hoping to see some kind of original content instead of just kind of likes and reposts. I know that he's kind of gearing up for that. I've been continuing to just repost things from the Voy account also because I think there's a need for that right now. But it'll be nice when it's kind of completely over and kind of running a little bit smoother. Um, Overall, this week I think has been fairly slow because it's a holiday week, and so I appreciate everybody who's here for this. I do plan on hosting or running the meeting next Monday as well. I don't believe that it falls on any holiday, so we'll run that one as well, just to see where we're at. Um, but I believe that the Voyager committee will not be hosted this week because it falls on Christmas and that kind of thing. Bogan.
What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had something.
Nope.
Okay.
Might have been some noises. Sorry.
No, it's okay. The last thing on the opening remarks is that the initial council payments went out, as well as Bagman's initial payment for hosting the committee. I did use the majority of my Void tokens to buy a unit because it's at an all-time low right now. So thank you for the Void. I'll continue over the next several months to manage the submission of any kind of invoices for the council, and I will distribute them to the same addresses that are your guys' core addresses. So if anything changes, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to send them that same way every month. Communications and announcements. I did mention in here that I wanted to see some kind of clarity about Fury's plans for continuation of posts on X for Voy. This actually might be just a good opportunity overall for Fury to kind of like lay out what he views as the plan for kind of the marketing effort. And so if nobody objects to that being at this part of the meeting, I think that'd be kind of a nice thing to do.
I do not object.
Okay. Fury, what do the next week or so look like? Okay. don't think you need to send them. I just think that the first post about what is Void Network and why it exists, I think that could probably be broken down into a number of tweets instead of just one long one, even though you have the ability for on this account to do like a long form thing. I don't know that it necessarily is helpful. I also was just going to mention that, like it's one thing to kind of take this broad overview of what Voy is doing, and then it's another to take a look at like um, the real kind of like facts on the ground of what's occurring. And part of it is this concept of like creator tokens that Wilder's pushing. Part of it is the idea that Voy kind of per capita has a lot of people who want to build, and we're building a lot of really good stuff, including DorkFi and House of Voy, Voy Wallet, and other things like that. And so I would kind of caution you, I guess, maybe against waiting for the kind of the 4 or 5 key builders on Void to get back to you, and instead just kind of understand that that's the differentiator, and just starting to like kind of talk about the kind of core things that are different about Void. And yeah, yeah, that's fine. The only thing that's going to be end up or that's going to end up being kind of missing from this is the kind of overall desire to create a voice or a brand of what Voy is. Because if we're just posting, kind of like kind of basic stuff, we're not going to get to that part. And it's possible that we just may not get to that part in the way that we've got things set up with you. But one thing we talked about for months is this kind of concept that we need to have like a little bit more of like a brand identity that comes out of the main account, and I'm not sure where that's going to come into play. Yeah, yeah, cool. Anybody else have any thoughts for Fury?
Yeah, so on our brand, I mean, there's no other blockchains out there that's given 75% of the tokens to the community. So I don't know if that's part of the brand thing. The angle of it. Okay.
Yeah.
In the transparency. Oh, go ahead, Scotch.
Oh, no. Yeah, go on. Mine's unrelated to that last.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit later on the agenda, but I put that transparency report for him to check out. That that was from way back like 6 months ago or 8 months ago. For some of the key metrics on there.
Cool. Yeah, I think just the bottom line is that, you know, part of this process is it was, you know, it's taken a long time to get here, and no one expects you to like solve things overnight. But at the end of the day, you know, we do need to, whatever we're doing, we need to try to be attracting new people and attracting investment, because we need to be offsetting, you know, at least $600 worth of sell pressure monthly, and hopefully we'll find additional people to, you know, to come on board and want to be developing or wanted to be investing or want to be just a part of the process. And so, you know, we can talk about what we're doing, you know, but ultimately we do want to be trying to like attract new people. That's the end goal, and that's where we need to be. But yeah, thank you for what you've done so far. It looks good. Other things we've got on here, I just decided to put Dorkfy and House of Voy on the communications portion, because it's, I think we should probably also start to put Voy Wallet, and I'll do that right now. So Dorkfy doesn't have major updates. We've got a little bit of additional fundraising coming in, and we fixed some bugs this week. Not just bugs, but also just kind of page loads and performance stuff. I think that most people have found it way easier to use when it loads very fast. House of Voy this week did announce a new interface appearance. I can tell you guys also that they're pursuing a machine that will play with WAD, and they're also supposed to be providing us with details for all of the design features, so that if Dorkfy, Dorks, or anybody else in the ecosystem wants to create a slot machine, they have all of the information they need so they can create the interface for it. And I think that the big news for Voy Wallet is the air gap feature. Um, Zarmian basically created an opportunity for people to sign for transactions on an air gapped computer, which is pretty cool. Really opens up the door for Voy and Algorand wallets to sign for transactions without being online or you know, potentially compromised. So I think that's going to be kind of a big deal for people using that on AVM in general. Anybody else have anything they'd like to add about like kind of major updates to the ecosystem?
Just with that, I'm not aware of another wallet that can do that. Another mobile wallet.
Yeah,
I'd say.
Has anybody tried that?
I haven't, but I think Gov did, and
No.
he liked the system. I haven't, well, no, I do have the opportunity to try to do it, I think, but the biggest thing is just having another device that's like on airplane mode. Um, and, and I don't think I do actually have one, but if you have a device on airplane mode and it's like set up ahead of time, then you basically can be signing transactions without actually connecting to Wi-Fi, which is wild.
Yeah, I'm wondering how that would work. Like, I'm assuming the device needs to be set up ahead of time and then put into airplane mode or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. I want to ask Zarmian.
I'll ping him and see if he's around. I'll try to get him in if he's here. All right. What else? Yeah, let's go to proposals. Nuss, would you like to kind of talk about the proposals that just came in?
Yeah, we have Wilder. He's got another one in about with the let's see, the Nomadex hosting costs. So for the cost that it's costing to run that, and it seems pretty legit to me. I mean, I read through it, not with a fine tooth comb, but I did read through it. Seemed pretty good. I didn't see anything that stood out. We got to somebody needs to champion it, I believe. Has anybody else read on it?
I looked over it. It looked like it was a fairly low cost. I guess the only thing that I'm gonna question is whether or not this is something that like we have a history of doing for Humble or any other thing in the ecosystem.
Did you update the link? Because the link you shared on there goes to the grants and grant tracker. I don't know.
Yes. So that was for some reason it's not coming up like all the rest of them do. I don't know what's different about it. I can't get I couldn't get the chip to come up. Sort of putting it into the agenda first and then going back to it. So I'm gonna look into that tonight if I can get the link updated. But the link should be good. That's in the agenda.
Yeah, the links in the agenda are fine.
Okay. I'll look at that one then. I guess my only thing to me, like, I literally just opened it, and my only thing would be is Wilder part of the team? If he's not part of the team, why is he submitting proposals for other people? In my
I think
opinion,
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think he's like being the liaison type deal for him.
He's definitely subsidizing.
Yeah, didn't he do this?
he did this
Before?
while he was on the council. I never liked it. I don't think somebody that's not on the team should be submitting for.
This is
That's just my personal opinion. So I mean, obviously there's 5 of us, so y'all can pass it. But
the rationale is web dev does not want to be like a part of the process for whatever reason. And Wilder,
well, then he shouldn't get any fucking money. If you don't want to be part of the process, you don't get any money.
I get it. Yeah, I know.
I like the OX Labs though. The OX Labs is. Yeah. Sorry.
That's right. The reason for Wilder doing it, I think, is because he's investing into web dev. It sounds like he's paying him for like the additional development work and he's pairing up with a lot of the tokens index and Shelley and stuff like that. So that's probably why he's taking a vested.
This is for is this the updated proposal?
Basically, there's one proposal here that's for $120 a month for hosting, and there's another proposal here that's basically bringing Nomadex on par with the ecosystem incentive grant that Humble is a part of, where the VOI and USDC and stuff like that lockups are incentivized. I think
that's the
Humble and Dorkfire are both kind of in a similar situation.
Yeah, that's yeah, I guess that was the one that's the same as very similar to the Humble request.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. I haven't looked it over and compared it, but the proposal should basically be the exact same as Humble.
Yeah, yeah, I also skimmed it, but I didn't look too closely. But just skimming it now, I don't see a lot.
I think it's. I mean, I'll need to verify it. But if I had to be if I had to guess, it's going to be something that just lines up with Dorkfi and Humble as kind of normal ecosystem initiatives to incentivize people to use a project and lock up liquidity in LPs and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it looks very similar to the other one. Maybe I'll put them both in AI.
There you go.
Have them compare the two.
Yeah, he said, I'm looking for it now, but he did make a comment somewhere that he would like to combine them into one, if it's possible, and for us to discuss it at the meeting tonight, to combine into one.
I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't be, but we'd have to
Well, one's
ask.
a micro. One we put as a micro. The other one was an ecosystem initiative.
You mean the Nomadex, the two Nomadex?
Yeah, I think that's what he was.
Yeah, that
talking
I
about.
don't know. Which one was the Nomadex hosting?
Yeah, it's a much smaller ask.
Yeah, but it's also like is Nomadex not able to? I haven't read that, but is it not able to pay its hosting? Is that what the?
I think he's just trying to make it easier for web dev to absorb any kind of costs and just continue to build.
Yep, and he made it. He's got in there where once it becomes sustainable, it's by default goes
Yeah.
back to the treasury. Yeah.
I'll have to get to the. You said it was the meeting notes. I haven't. Not the meeting, the agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Okay. Yeah. The one that's the same as the one that's the same as the humble one. I don't have any problems with, but this other one I'll have to think about.
I don't have any problem with the one that's similar to Humble. That's basically rewarding the users, right? It's rewarding the community.
Yeah.
The other one, I personally think that web devs should submit that one. If they want us to pay for that, then they should be submitting for it.
Yeah. If Wilder officially joins the Nomadex team, then
that's different. Yes,
that's different. But I can see the other one. A community member says, "Hey, all dexes should have the same incentives." Makes complete sense to it. Yeah.
Especially established dexes that have been around for a while, right?
Yeah. That's what I should. All especially Humble and Nomadex were there before pre-launch.
Yeah.
I was using Nomadex to swap the original taco token, things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I am also, I will say, I am also in agreement with that. Yo.
Okay. Well, it's it seems like one person could take both things on, and it would be fair, I think, to tell him that that person or we as a council still believe that Nomadex uh, cost proposals should come from the owner instead of from a community member. And at the same time say that that Nomadex ecosystem grants should be on par with any other ecosystem grants because it's a level of fairness and the community uses both. And especially with like Snowball Swap these days, like when I do transactions, as long as Snowball Swap isn't broken, I transact against like multiple LPs at the same time, which is fantastic. So
yeah, that's what I've been. As Snowball Swap improves, it's just going to get better and better.
Yeah. Can we identify somebody to champion maybe both of these at the same time since they involve the same people?
I could do it.
That's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, and you can look at I did that evaluation for the humble version, so you can look at that and just
plagiarize.
Please do.
No, got to reword it.
Yeah, of course. Proposals need evaluation. Void consensus update. I haven't heard anything, and I'll also make a point now to mention that I reached out to Chris Sweener about the relays showing up, so that people can eventually get paid for running a relay. And he said that requires Henrik, and that he wasn't really going to be available until after the holidays. So I think that as a council we should begin to consider that we're just not going to have good data for relays for a couple of months, and maybe one of the courses of action we can take is to do like an average of how the relay performed previous and how the relay performed after we get this up, and just like pay off the relay hosts based on kind of like historic data instead of actual data, because we're going to get to that like fairly soon after the new year. Mhm. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, that one's down in the, we still have that on the open council discussion area, but yes, we know that their old relay node payouts have still not gone through. Eventually, we need to pay them, but we're waiting on, I think, essentially members of Block Authority to like provide information on them. So, yep, yeah. Well, the grant pay thing that we passed a couple of meetings ago, I believe is up and ready for use. But I need to get my head around, and maybe somebody else in this meeting also will help me get my head around how we go about actually loading those things up with VOI funding to get people paid. You know, we could use that for the council. We could use that for for the relays. We could use that for a number of other things. So it'd be great to kind of figure that the grant pay distribution kind of thing out. Um, the BA exit policy, Bogan pointed out that this might be just about the veto aspect of it. Um, I think that all of us really kind of pointed out to Wilder that a lot of his concerns about Block Authority have been assuaged by the fact that they're just not involved, and that the council is making decisions and hasn't been pushed back against at all. Um, where where are we kind of generally at with that proposal besides that kind of point?
Well, I've reviewed the proposal. I kind of agree with what you just said, and I know there's been some comments in the Discord, uh, kind of relating to that. I haven't had a chance to sit down and type anything up as far as a formal, review or anything, but I want to get up with Gov and find out more of his stance or BA's stance after he attended that meeting a couple weeks back. Kind of to outline a little more of what their exit policy or their plan is. But I do plan on formally typing something up this week. So I've just been swamped. No
Yeah,
excuses, but I haven't had
no,
the chance to sit down and do it.
yeah, I get it.
All right. I did
And
put
I
in
know along also. Oh, I was just gonna say I know with the Constitution uh, changes, that's kind of gonna affect that too. There's like three moving pieces here to get an answer for Wilder. I mean, he has a good point, but like you said, a lot of this stuff is changed already. It's just, I don't know if it needs a vote, but I'd like to just formally do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can unanimous vote by the council. We can override the veto. So they, I don't know why it's there.
Correct.
Just to make us
But I mean,
think
I
it,
would
I
like,
guess.
right. I mean, we do need to get an answer on the exit though. I mean, even aside from the proposal from Wilder, I know, Gov brought it up and
Yeah, they
we are
want to
gonna
be.
upgrade the network. Right, they want to be out, but I'd just like to get a little bit more info on that aside from what he shared with us a couple weeks ago. So I'm gonna try and get up with them this week. I mean, I know it's the holidays, but
Yeah.
should be able to squeak a conversation or two in.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think that one's going to be too difficult to talk.
Yeah.
Just let them know.
Yeah, at the end of the day, from my perspective, if we tell if the whoever is involved in it tells Wilder that we feel like the Constitution as it is currently allows for sufficient boundaries and whatnot for the council to kind of rebuke anything the block authority does, and then also the fact that the block authority has not been involved in vetoing or doing anything against what the council has proposed. That's like a fine answer in the short term, especially when you combine it with the fact that they want to get out of the game of running nodes, and they want to transition the network to the new state in line with Algorand, and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like it's going to solve itself, but if it deserves an answer, then we should give it an answer.
Yep. Sounds good.
On to open council discussion stuff. I did take a chance to go or take some time to go over the void constitution that Scotty went over. There's a link there that Nuss provided. I also went ahead and made a copy of it and accepted all of the changes that Scotty had created. There's some areas in here that I think need to be kind of cleaned up because they just don't make sense from a reading perspective. But the overall layout of the Constitution is a lot cleaner after the edits. And I was just going to suggest that in the short term, and we can always we can always add back in things from the original one later. I was going to suggest in the short term, if you wanted to continue to take a look at the Constitution, we might want to work off of my copy that has all of the changes accepted, because it's just a lot easier to read, and I cleaned it up a lot as far as just the way that it looks. Now that we have a little bit of additional time, and especially over the holidays when there's not a lot going on, this might be a good opportunity for us to just kind of read through it and identify areas that we think either are good or not good or whatever, and maybe take, even if it's not going to solve it, just kind of take some steps to towards having like a kind of a fundamental upgrade to the Constitution itself.
Yeah, I think the judiciary and the board of directors and all that needs to be a little bit more clear. If there even is a board of directors, or who is the treasury and who is the judiciary, who is what. I think we need to know.
Okay.
Yeah.
The challenge there is that the people like the judiciary, whoever's currently holding it, which I believe is related to Gov, his name or their names are not necessarily supposed to be a part of this document. It might be important to have not an addendum, but a secondary document that's attached to the void constitution that lays out who who is currently in these various roles, so we can kind of address them individually. But the Constitution itself shouldn't have anything to do with the people who are currently holding office. It should be more of like a blanket document that lays out the way that things are supposed to work.
What about the transparency report? If it had everybody listed who was what?
Yeah, probably be a good place for it.
Yeah.
But okay. You guys, when you go over this, you will see that, like, especially when you get down into section 9, uh, as a big example, but also section 4 in Article 3. There's too many fucking titles, too many like kind of header texts, and I wanted to kind of get with Scotty to figure out like what he had intended there. Because I think there's like an opportunity to simplify this in some way, and I didn't want to just like do it without some feedback. But if you look at, I can see a couple of you are in here already. If you look at like what was created, uh, these section 1 through 9 of Article 1, they kind of need like probably some kind of additional text to lay out what the sections are about so that it shows up on the tab. But otherwise, it's just a lot easier to read than the initial version of the council document. And it can continue to be easier, I think, if we got Scotty to commit to kind of showing up for like a working session or something with a few of us and just kind of talk through the document a little bit. Maybe we can get to the point where we've got a version of the document that's updated, that's a little more succinct, and just makes a lot more sense. Another example of something that I noticed today was Article 3, Judicial, Section 2. When it comes to primary obligations to the judicial branch, one thing we can identify is that they're either interpreting or vetoing or reviewing compliance. And in this section, we've got like 9 different bullet points here, but the majority of those bullet points, I think, fit into like those kind of like core elements of what the judicial does. And so maybe it'd be nice to kind of like sort the bullet points into are they interpreting, are they vetoing, or are they doing something related to compliance from a what's the word I'm looking for, like legal compliance or tax or whatever, like governmental compliance.
Just the checks and balances. You could add a lot of them into just one section with checks and balances.
Yeah, I mean the majority of them are spelled out in these bullet points here, but like if they could be kind of sectioned up into categories of how the judicial works, I think it'd be easier for the users to read, because the obligations of the judicial branch, I think, do fit into those 3 categories, and just kind of sorting them by those categories would be a lot simpler. But I do think it'd be nice to have like some time with Scotty, since he really went over it and the majority of the changes are his, and then come up with a version of this that we can take a look at as a group, and kind of outline what the major changes were. Another thing that I noticed today was in the amendment section, they're talking about anytime one of the aforementioned articles are amended, it must be included below with the following title format. And this title format thing is, to me, retarded because, like, ultimately, if we're amending the Constitution, you don't need like a title format. You just need like a submission of a portion of a document that would fit into a certain section. So this title format thing kind of feels the same way that the foundation set up the grant process, where your grant has to have a certain like title format of the document in order for it to go through the process, and it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Think it's a legal thing,
I don't think so.
but I just didn't want to lose the original wording.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know, but I mean, like original article _ amendment and then the date.
We could ask.
Maybe it's a way. Maybe it's a way to search it or index it or something. I
Yeah,
thought that
if
was weird on the grant ones too.
If you think about the U.S. Constitution, you go into amendment, the amendments or the Bill of Rights, the amendments. They don't have like the the original article _ amendment and date. It's just like Amendment 1. If it's been ratified, it's a part of the Constitution. So you just have Amendment 1 and the text of it, and then you move on with your life. You don't need all this. You don't need a
We
certain
could.
time.
I was gonna say before. I like if we could get Scotty to sit down with us. That would be perfect.
I've sent him. I sent him a note today. I'll tell you if he gets back to me. I don't. It's possible that this is just the wrong time for.
Yeah, we could put in a proposal for that too. Something, but if we could also get Gov involved, maybe he could explain why some of those things are the way they are. I mean, there may be a great reason.
I'll find out when Scotty's available, and I'll try to make it a time that's like after work for you guys, and I'll see if Gov can like match one of those times, and then we'll just try to get together for half an hour and just talk about this shit, because I think it'd be great to just get it out of the way, and not just get it out of the way, but like just have it easier to read. And I can tell you that what Scotty has so far is way better, way more simple than the original version.
Oh, just reading his initial stuff, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah,
I would like to see what at least Gov thinks about it. Scotty's changes, because he seems to be the most involved in that kind of
I'll
Block Authority.
link to Gov too. I mean, he and I talk pretty often, so I'll send him the link and say, this is the kind of working document based on Scotty's notes, and here are some things that we're thinking about wanting to change, and see what he thinks about it. But it'd be great to get them together at the same time that Scotty's around. Transparency report we already talked about. Old relay node payouts we already talked about. Relay visibility. I can't remember if I've already forgotten if I told you guys, but I talked to Chris Weiner today via text.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, he said that Henrik is the person that needs to create that shit, and he's unavailable right now. There's a thing here about, has anybody contacted Coop to let him know we went with Fury? I think that the answer is no, but I will reach out to Coop after this meeting and just let him know kind of where we currently stand.
Yeah, if Coop responds to my DM, I'll let him know from whatever, like 5-6 weeks ago.
Right. And then
I was just thinking, yeah. Right.
Huh?
Oh yeah. Just like I think we need to closure on some proposals when it doesn't go through.
Sure.
I think we should follow up.
Yeah, he hasn't been like the most responsive, but we can definitely. He was talking on occasion in the group with me and Yaya and Bagman. So I'll reply in there, kind of where we're at, and just see where we go. There's also like the last thing in here is link to recordings. I don't think I put that in there.
I put
but
it in there because when Yayo said something about where to find the recording at the
Yeah.
beginning of the meeting.
Okay. Fury, can you provide like a general link to where all these recordings live so we could just kind of put it in a document somewhere? Okay. So what's the YouTube channel? Gotcha. All right. So yeah, afterwards we'll put the link to the main YouTube thing in there, and that'll be something people can refer to. All right. Action items. So I'll talk to Gov about the Constitution. I'll talk to Coop about the marketing. We got Nuss volunteered for Nomadex.
Yep.
What else did we have? Anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow up with Gov too on the BA stuff.
Okay, Bogan with Gov on BA. Yayo on old minutes. And anything else? I don't think so, but just curious.
Nope. We was going to get something set up for the Constitution.
Oh yeah, Constitution meeting. So I'll reach out to Scotty and Gov. And I'll try to find a time that's after work. Yeah. Cool. All right, if that's everything, then we've accomplished the task. I think I've got everything in there. Anybody else have anything that's kind of going on this week that they'd like to talk about?
I got family in town, so I'm probably going to be pretty busy. But I'll be obviously have my phone on me at any time if anyone needs to get hold of me.
I will mention for the folks here, just in case you're one of those people, don't be over leveraging yourself on Dorkfi. The change in pricing for unit and void and stuff like that, like as it goes around, like don't find yourself down in like in the under one health score or whatever. We're taking a harder look at that this week, just because
Are there a lot of people?
there's not, but there are a couple.
More than zero.
Yeah, there's more than zero.
Let's see what I got. I'm at 3.0, so
There you go. The one thing that I noticed though, is that so one way to do this on most platforms is to just like do another deposit or whatever, so that you can make sure that you have you've got health score, and you're not getting liquidated. For our platform, because the LP for unit is like not super deep yet, although it's about to be increased. There's this like possibility where you just like buy a unit to increase the price, which increases your like overall total amount of tokens, or your total amount of value that's in your tokens, and that like does the same thing or better. so keep in mind that there's more than one way to build a health score on this platform.
Hey, who do I talk to if I have a problem with the Dorkfi? Do I go right to you there, Haruf?
Yeah, you can post in the Dorkfi Q&A kind of chat that we have, the Dorkfi support thing. There's
Yeah,
a
no, I
couple
mean,
of yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I made a payment on my loan and it didn't come off, but it came out of my wallet.
Yeah, so PK has mentioned something similar to that. I trust that it's actually working. It's just the UI is fucked. So I mentioned that to Shelly today. But if you look in the support thing, basically PK and I think maybe even EZK also had something similar, and we're trying to fix it. But it's not immediate. It might be the next couple of days.
All right, I'll check over there anyways. I didn't go in anywhere else, so.
Yeah, but feel free to post it. Obviously, we want this stuff to just work, but apparently it's not working. Okay, it's been a good meeting. We did it in an hour, which is great.
Our new record.
We did it,
Good job.
and now I'm going to the couch with the dog. But it was nice talking to you guys. I'll chat with you
Nice.
later.
Yep. All right.
All right.
Have a good night,
All right.
everybody.
Good night.
See y'all.
Later.